This is my review of the Losi Baja Rey Ford Raptor. Throughout the past few months, I've been running numerous battery packs through this vehicle, and overall I've been very impressed with it. Today I'm going to help you decide whether or not to purchase one of these vehicles by sharing my thoughts and experiences with this truck. When it comes to performance and handling, in my opinion, this truck was a blast to drive. One of my favorite things to do with it was just to take it over some super rough terrain at high speeds, and then just sit back and watch the suspension do its work. And that's really what this vehicle is about in my eyes. Now, when you're driving this vehicle at higher speeds over rough terrain, I found that you really need to stay in the throttle and fully committed, because if you back out or let off at any point, the truck is going to nose over, the front bumper is going to dig into the ground, and then the truck's just going to flip end over end. I had that happen many times, and I think that's why I have so much damage to the hood. Now, out of the box, when you turn the two front tires, the tires actually rub against the edges of the front fender. So I ended up having to take 1 millimeter or 2 of material off. I just used some Lexan scissors and opened up the fenders a little bit. And I also added a little bit of preload to the front suspension. I cranked down those collars on the shocks just to compress the springs a little bit and bring the front end up. So doing those two things should help eliminate the tire rubbing issue. The tires are pretty soft. That allows them to get quite a bit of traction. Tread pattern looks nice and scale, and it works well. But since the tires are so soft, they balloon a ton. And with those pizza cutter tires, you definitely lose some scale appearance and control at higher speeds. I did do a quick speed run with this truck on 3S LiPo, and I ended up with 50 miles per hour. On 3S LiPo, this vehicle has a ton of power, and the one drawback is that the motor does heat up pretty quick, especially in the summer when it's hot out. Getting into the durability of this Losi Baja Rey, I was extremely impressed with how well this truck held up. I've only had a few things go wrong with this vehicle throughout the time that I've had it. During this truck's very first run, you guys saw me break the front bumper. The plastic just straight up cracked. The temperatures were freezing outside, but I still feel that the bumper broke prematurely. I also have seen quite a few other people have the bumpers break right away on these Losi Baja Reys, so I decided to replace it with an RPM front bumper that has better plastics and an improved design for more durability, and a skid plate that actually wraps underneath to help protect the truck. After throwing on that new front bumper, this truck has been holding up great. Because of the design of this truck and the fact that it has fenders, larger front and rear bumpers, and a roll cage, all of the important parts are pretty well protected. So the body and the bumpers are absorbing most of the impacts, which is hard on the body. You definitely do develop some cracks, especially on the hood. I found that that's where most of my damage is, but we do have some cracks that are beginning to form on the mounting tabs that are just behind the front two tires, kind of on that part of the fender. The only issue I've had so far that's actually prevented me from running the vehicle is I had one of the front drive shafts pop out of the drive cup. I was able to just remove a screw and pop that drive shaft back into the drive cup though, so that really wasn't a big problem. Other than that, this truck has been through a bunch of high-speed crashes, and it's really only had some body damage. Now, I've seen some people have issues stripping a couple differentials or having the shocks fall apart. Now, I didn't have those issues, but you can hand the same exact vehicle to two different people, and they're going to have different driving styles and drive the vehicle in different locations and different temperatures, so they're going to have varying experiences when it comes to durability. I've been taking this vehicle over rough terrain and smaller, like more scale jumps, kind of drifting and ripping this thing around, and I've been having a blast with it. I haven't been taking it to skate parks or sending it to the moon because this truck just straight up isn't meant to do that. So I can say with confidence that this platform is quite durable if you use it for its intended purpose. This truck can be challenging at times to work on, especially accessing the front and center diffs. So it's probably not the best vehicle for a beginner if you're just looking to get into the hobby. Now, this vehicle comes ready to go out of the box, and you can totally run it as is, but here's a short list of quick and easy changes that you can make to it to improve its performance and durability. So like I mentioned earlier, to get rid of the tire rubbing issue in the front end as you turn, you can open up the fenders, just trim out some material, and then you can crank down the collars on the front shocks to raise up the front end a bit. Adding some thicker fluid to the center differential is a very common change that people make to these vehicles. I did it myself. Just helps distribute distribute the power more evenly between the front and rear end and helps minimize some of the ballooning up front. I went with 500,000 weight fluid in the center, and it seems to be working well for me so far. Then, as I mentioned earlier, the temperatures of the motor on this truck can definitely get up there if you're running at higher speeds, so a heatsink and motor cooling fan setup, it's always a solid upgrade and allows you to not have to worry about the motor temps as much. Like I say with pretty much every vehicle, I'd wait until you break parts on the Losi Baja Rey before you start upgrading, but I felt that the front bumper was kind of a weak spot on this truck, so an RPM front bumper I think is the way to go. If you currently own a Losi Baja Rey or you have in the past, let me know down in the comments what other changes or upgrades you'd recommend. Hopefully this video helps you decide whether or not to purchase a Losi Baja Rey for yourself. Smash that like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next video.